So I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Greg Chismark. I'm president of WBK Engineering. I have been working in the engineering and infrastructure industry for 40 years. I've been licensed as a professional engineer for 36 of those years and have been with WBK Engineering for 15 years.
My name is Yemi Oyewole. I'm a transportation practice lead at WBK. I've been in the industry for approximately 33 years. Started out my career at IDA, where I worked for 17 years, and a couple of other firms. I've been with WBK for going on 4 years.
So how does WBK Engineering fit within the infrastructure industry? What would you call your core work?
So I would suggest our core work, it really starts with our transportation and water resource practices. And those are probably two of the most recognizable practices. So we're organized around what we call practice groups, and they're fairly traditional civil engineering disciplines. So transportation, water resources, municipal utility, and then site development. Those are our core practices. And how we fit into the infrastructure industry, I would start with again, transportation and water resources, what we do, roadways, bridges, and anything to do with water and management of water. And as you think about the built environment and infrastructure, anytime we touch the surface of the earth, we change the hydrology. How that water gets managed, how it gets returned to its natural course, is something that we deal with both from a water quality and water quantity perspective. The infrastructure associated with that management of the water, whether it's a bridge, whether it's storm sewer, it's a flood control project, a dam removal, stream restoration. It could be gray infrastructure, it could be green infrastructure. WBK does that. We're also focused on our clients. So our municipal practice group, based on its name, is focused towards communities and community engineering. And that's more of a generalist view than it is a specific need. It's whatever the community needs. And that could range from asset management, helping a community understand its infrastructure assets and how to manage those, managing the development process in a growing community where development's occurring, making sure that infrastructure is constructed properly for the long term. And so those are, I would say, kind of how we fit into the infrastructure industry.
So please describe the firm's unique heritage and ownership structure.
So one of the unique aspects, Yemi, I need to give you a chance to do some talking here, but one of the unique aspects of WBK and our ownership, our current ownership, is that we're owned by a Native American Indian tribe, the Pokagon Band of the Potawatomi Indians. Their government is located in Dowagiac, Michigan. We are 100% owned by the Pokagon tribe, and the values of our work and what we do fits in with the values of the tribe. WBK existed as an engineering firm prior to the tribe's involvement in 2016. Ownership involvement in 2016. But even prior to that, our work had a reverence for the environment. We have a tagline we use often called mediating the built and natural environment, which is really that interface between the built world and the natural world, and making sure what we do has an impact on the environment, that we mitigate that impact to the greatest extent possible. And so those values fit into the values of the tribe. And so our ownership structure is unique in that regard. Our values are aligned in that regard. And in our heritage, in terms of the ownership is one thing, but also I think in terms of the heritage of the engineers who've worked here for several decades, and how we do work in the communities that we live and serve.
And I just want to add that as a tribal enterprise and with our breadth of expertise, we offer commercial, municipal, state, and federal markets has a wide range of construction, architecture, and engineering expertise, which is second to none.
So what is a DBE, and how is your firm able to be certified as such? Can you describe the process a little bit?
Well, the DBE, basically the meaning of that is a disadvantaged enterprise, business enterprise. And this program is a federally mandated program, which is intended to assure a fair practice, basically leveling the playing field by providing small businesses owned and controlled by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals a fair opportunity to compete for federally funded transportation contracts. And there are, I want to say, 5 agencies, which I don't know right off the top of my head, that do certify a firm for this program. I know one of them is PACE, who we were certified by, IDOT, the Department of Transportation, City of Chicago, Metra, and I believe there may be one more which skips me right now. But it's quite a lengthy process, and there's a checklist of items to go by to know whether you do qualify for the program or not.
One quick response on the DBE certification we have. WBK Engineering is unique with respect to our DBE certification that we are a tribally owned disadvantaged business enterprise. There are only one other firm in the state of Illinois that's tribally owned that's certified as such. So we're unique in terms of our Native American ownership and the opportunities it provides, not only for the engineers at WBK, but for the tribe itself.
Okay, so as a certification, DBE is based out of Illinois, as far as I'm aware. How would work in other states be affected?
One of the growth strategies that WBK has had for some years now is to expand our geographic footprint. Naturally, we did that with our tribal ownership in Michigan with the Battle Creek office. What the DBE does for us is it allows us to expand our transportation practice into other states and other markets that as a 35-person firm would be very much a challenge for us to do. The DBE certification gives us those opportunities to develop experience with other state DOTs as well as with other consulting firms to partner on projects that will get us experience to help us to grow our firm.
Okay, so although it originates from Illinois, you can still use that DBE certification to any other state or work?
No. So the DBE certification is to Illinois only, but with that certification, in order to get certified in any other state, we had to be certified in our home state first, and we are now certified in Illinois, so we can seek that certification in other states. And initially, we think makes the most sense would be the adjacent states to Illinois, so Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, and potentially Iowa.
Okay, great. I think that clarified it up, and I imagine some of our other readers would wonder that too. So how will this DBE designation change your firm? And are there any potential drawbacks or negative consequences possibly?
I would say, it changes our firm by giving us a fair playing field, as I indicated earlier. In the past, as a non-DBE before before we were certified, I should say, we were competing with the larger firms, maybe firms of about 20,000, 50,000 employees for the same contracts. And the DBE firms, were given a better chance to compete for the same contracts because a lot of these federal contracts do have a participation goal, which we now happen to fall within, if you will. So that's a big disadvantage. As a drawback, I believe some of the DBE firms that used to reach out to us to team with us, may not look at us as a prime firm to team with, but look at us more as a competition for some of these contracts. But either way, it's still a positive. It's still a benefit for us.
Can you offer some advice to other firms considering a similar process or certification? What have you learned that you can pass along to them so maybe they can save a step or two?
Yemi, you might have some thoughts on this too. I'm sure you do, but let me go first. I think what was important, what allowed us to be successful is we sought help. We sought help from some attorneys that helped us organize a lot of the information and knowledge that that we had. They got it from us. They got the information from us, but it allowed us to put together a package that was complete, and a package that would be more easily reviewed by the agency. And I think that's important. You want to put together, a response that the receiving agency can get through. We had worked with attorneys. We brought some attorneys in that had been familiar with the agency, familiar with the DBE process, and obviously our first time going through it. So for us, we weren't quite sure what to do, and I thought that was very helpful. It helped us keep on track. And as a 35-person firm, we're busy doing a lot of different things, and so the application wasn't always top on our front of our minds. So having that help really pushed the process and pushed us along to get to there. The other advice I would give is be persistent. Don't give up. Don't give up no matter how hard it may seem. I think that persistence for us, it certainly paid off. And so don't give up on that persistence of obtaining what you believe is should be a certification that can help your business grow.
An attorney can help guide you to let you know whether you will qualify or not, so you don't waste your time. And I'm sure they do have a checklist that you can go through before you go any further.
So was there anything about the process that maybe surprised you, that you didn't expect to go the way that it did?
This is going to sound odd, but it actually went easier than I thought it would. I didn't know what to expect. I think there was a site. So part of the process for Illinois, and my guess is this is similar for any federal certification. This DBE for certification is there's what's considered an on-site interview, and we actually did that virtually with the agency that certified us, and I thought it went very well. It was easier than I thought it would be. But I will tell you this is we prepared for it. We didn't take any step in the process lightly. We worked with the attorneys, but we had questions from the agency. They gave us an idea of what they were interested in, where maybe they thought they wanted more information, or if they thought our application wasn't quite complete. So we had really good information of what they were concerned with. We weren't surprised by any particular step, and I felt like it went fairly well. One more thing I'll say, and this is a little bit of a commercial for WBK, so I'll go ahead. While we are a newly minted DBE firm, newly certified DBE firm, WBK, we've got decades of experience in working on infrastructure projects, and so many DBE firms are newly formed firms and coming together, where we've got decades of organization of competing and successfully completing projects throughout Northeast Illinois and Southwest Michigan. And so, for us, getting the certification will allow us to grow and be more competitive in the transportation and infrastructure markets.